Welcome to the HR Empowerment Podcast, where we will uncover strategies and new insights from HR professionals who discuss up-to-date regulations, best practices, and the most pressing topics like diversity and equity, leadership, dealing with difficult situations, and much more that affect your bottom line and business. Thanks for joining us.
Hey everybody, Wendy Sellers here, the HR Lady. Welcome back. We are here in episode 5 of 5 in this series on leading change with confidence. And we are going to talk about measuring success, which is really the impact of leadership in change. So welcome back, Sayer Darling.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
Hey, I'm going to jump right in and talk about, why the heck we're here. I mean, change. We're here all the time, change. But if we're not affecting the bottom line, to be quite honest, then our executives are going to say, bye, we don't need you here, right? So exactly. How do we know if change has been successful?
Well, you measure what matters, but when it comes to change, what matters? Are your changes tied to strategic initiatives? Then your metric should be about the success of the strategic initiative. Are you focused on fixing what's broken? Why are you measuring any success with that? Because if it's broken from what the world was, it's really going to be out of date, at least in 2 weeks, if it isn't already. I mean, things are moving so quickly. So one of the things that people do when they look at measuring the success of a change is, did we complete it? Did we complete it on time? Were people relatively happy with it? There's been no negative uprisings or disagreements about how it was handled. We don't have to do it over, that kind of thing. And they're missing a lot of opportunities of what they could be measuring. For example, have you looked at external changes that are going on in the world that you could use to help advance the change initiative you're working on? Are you getting stakeholder feedback in a way that builds engagement, helps people learn how to have conversations in their organizations, learns more about working with each other better? What all could you be improving by going through this change? So, the typical measures are all about the change itself, and that's just the engine. What you're really wanting to measure also is how was the trip? When you drove that car somewhere, how much better was the experience? Are you getting comments from employees that say, wow, this is really terrific, let's do more of this? Or your customers are really pleased with it. You're outpacing your competition. So I think metrics really is an area in change leadership that really needs to be updated.
86% of companies, they report successfully recouping their investment in coaching with an average return on investment of 600%. So if it's not clear by now, you might want to call an expert and take it to the next level.
600% by 86% of companies. Whoa, that's amazing. I think you really have to combine a lot of things, and maybe even start out with like sample groups or sample projects. You have to combine performance analytics, behavioral assessments, organizational psychology to really measure return of investment of leadership coaching, or even just employee coaching. It doesn't just have to be leadership coaching, right, Sayer?
Correct. And a lot of coaching for middle managers and employees is turning into group coaching. And I really like that because once the coach is gone, I'm not just improving one person. Everyone who's been in that group coaching can lean on each other to say, do you remember what they said? Well, now how do we do this again? And that only makes it stronger.
Yeah, I love it. I personally myself, I love group coaching, or not coaching. I love like committees. So the projects that I do, when I go into companies, I'm like, all right, we're doing this as a committee because I'm going away. My
Exactly.
job is to help you fix this and go away.
Yep.
And while I would like to continue taking your money, I really don't want to come back here.
Right.
So I love committees so they can learn from each other and go, oh, I heard what Wendy said, or I heard what Joe said, or I heard what,
Yep.
JC said over here. I'm going to go walk down the hall to their office and talk to them, or call them on Zoom and talk to them, because they can help me and we can help each other. And wouldn't it be just a wonderful world if we could just lean on our coworkers and not have to run to HR all the time?
One of the things I say to my clients is, I want you to have stronger sea legs when I'm done. So what are those learning objectives, and what does the group need to do to help you?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is, before the coaching goes into place, let's figure out what are the metrics that we want to change so that we can start measuring them now, every week, every month. Some of them may not change for a year, 2 years. And that's always the hard thing when it involves employee relations. But, Sayer, you have worked with businesses of all sizes, including several leadership positions in Fortune 500 companies and national nonprofit organizations. I bow down to you. And, I just want to make sure our listeners know how they could connect with you.
Well, as JC highlighted, there is no other Sayer Darling on LinkedIn. That's Sayre, last name Darling. You do not pronounce it "say you are darling," as someone did in an introduction when I was working in Southern California. Sayer is Old English for a town crier or a court crier. You can find me at my website, which is sayredarling.com, named for the same reason why I'm the only one on LinkedIn with Sayer Darling. And you can go ahead and email me too directly at sayer@sayer-darling.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here today. Thanks, everybody, for listening to our series on leading change with confidence. We hope this information in this podcast has been helpful. If you want to be a guest on the show, just reach out. Thanks for joining us. Take care.
Thank you for joining the HR Empowerment Podcast, brought to you by Aurora Training Advantage. We hope you've gained new insight and strategies to navigate the HR profession. We look forward to you joining us again on the HR Empowerment Podcast.